Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm here in Tulum, staying in this amazing condo here, this amazing rooftop pool, a view of the jungle. It's quite beautiful. In this video, I wanted to talk about the idea of your higher self, and for lack of a better word, your lower self. Now, if you've taken personality tests, I've taken a ton of them, and if you're like me, you like to know more about yourself. If you haven't taken the Enneagram personality test, I recommend it for one reason. Well, several reasons, but one thing that Enneagram has that all the other personality tests I've taken don't is your levels of development. What Enneagram gives you is within your personality number, you have a 1 to 10 range of you being your worst to you being your best within your already given number. And what this can tell you is you can look at 1 through 10 and see which one you're at and be like, dang, I'm a number 2. I really got work to do. That's where I was. I think I saw myself as like a 2 or a 3 on that scale of 1 to 10. Or you can see yourself as a 10 and be like, wow, I'm really doing my best right now. But everything's a snapshot, right? It's going to be something that you are in the moment, and it goes up and down. It can change, just like everything else in life, right? So you have to start learning about you being your best and the parts of you that are your weak spots or your shadow or your blind spots, the parts of you you might not know about that are holding you back in some way. This is where MindWorks comes in. The process is to find these things that are unconscious, find the things that are subconscious, and make them conscious. Bring them up, not just logically. We're not just logically, oh yeah, I have this thing. No, we're going to bring it up and we're going to let it go. We're going to release it. These parts of us can hold us back in our mind. It can be something that we're scared to do something new. We have fear of missing out. We have fear of taking a new step. We have fear of trying something new. We have fear of saying yes to things we need to say yes to, or fear of saying no to things we need to say no to. When we act in our worst, it holds us back from our full potential. Our full potential is at number 10. That's where we want to be. We want to be authentic in our best self. If we're not being authentic in our best self, we're going to be somewhere down here, somewhere below around number 5 or lower. And that happens from taking and making decisions that are inauthentic. And we make these decisions because we have these masks that we wear that cover up who we really are. And that's what's going to make us make decisions unaligned with our true selves. And so we're living this false self life. And that false self life is what keeps us unhappy because we're not in tune and aligned with who we actually truly are. So the process with MindWorks is to start stripping away and removing all of the parts of us, all of these masks, all of these layers that are not us, that are not authentic to us, that are not aligned with us. Something that somebody else gave us or that we put on as a protection mechanism, as a survival strategy years ago, could be decades ago, and we're still carrying it, but it's not effective for us anymore. It's not serving us anymore. It's not helping us. We think it is because it's comfortable, because we've worn it for so long, but in reality, it's hurting us. So the MindWorks process teaches how to strip these away. And you got to strip these away because you got to remove things to create space for who you actually are. Every other coaching program, so many other gurus, they say you need to add more going to the gym. You need to add more meditation. You need to add more books, add more this, add more that. Okay, stop worrying about adding things to your life. You've already done enough of that. And I'm gonna guess it's not working for you. The focus needs to be on removal. We need to remove the things that are not serving us. And by doing so, that creates space for the intuition. You can't add things that are beneficial to you if you're not removing the things that are not beneficial to you. You have to create the space for these things. And here's the crux of it, the positive crux of it. As you remove the negative things, as you remove the insecurities, the fears, the doubts, remove the masks, remove the layers of our trauma, of our beliefs, of our negativity, of our stress. As you remove those layers, you're naturally creating space for the intuition, for your intuitive self, for your instincts, for your true self. You don't have to do anything else because it just is you. Just like an animal or a plant, it just is what it is. naturally. It doesn't have to try to be a flower. It doesn't have to try to be a bird. It just is that. As humans, we have a prefrontal cortex. We think. We have a language. And these things hurt us just as much as they help us. Language allows us to talk down to ourselves because our sixth sense, our internal voice, our internal awareness and attention, we can turn that internally negatively, and we do, and positively. A lot of us don't always do that though. So we have to look at the things that we can remove, and by removing these things, we're going to change our energy to be more positive. And that's going to create the space for our intuition, and you will naturally be you. I've been on a journey to self-discover who Andre is. Who is Andre? Like, without who I think I've been over the past, 20 years of my life. Who am I actually? And it's a self-discovery process. Part of it is a choice, but you have to choose to self-discover and accept who you actually are without trying to be anybody. It's not a choice of, oh, I'm going to try and be this way. No, it's let me remove who I'm not so that I naturally become who I am. That's the process we want to go through. That's what MindWorks teaches. It's a skill to remove the negativity, remove the layers, remove the masks, so that we can become who we are. As you become who you are, you make more authentic decisions. You make more intuitive decisions. Decisions become easier, and they're more aligned with who you actually are, and things are going to work out better for you. You're going to live a happier life. You're going to make better connections. You're going to deepen your relationships with people you already have, and you're going to make new connections and new relationships with people who are more like you and more in line with who you already are. The benefits of this process is quite unexplainable. It's not something that you're just going to get right away. It's something you have to feel it to believe it. Just like when I was working out in the beginning of my calisthenics journey, I was doing a lot of body weight workouts. And I remember one day I was doing pull-ups on the bar, and I felt very, very good. I felt very strong, and I was like, wow, I could try to explain the benefits and what this feels like to other people, but until they actually get to this point, they're not going to feel it. They're not going to actually know what it's like. They might logically know, yeah, I'll be stronger, but they won't have the emotional sensation feeling of what it's actually like until they get there. That's what I want for you. It does take a little bit of a leap of faith to try something new, to try a new process, and to dive into yourself. That's scary for a lot of people, and it's scary because it's uncomfortable. The goal, the purpose of MindWorks is to work through the discomfort, little by little, day after day. You have to go through discomfort if you want to grow. If you're not going through that discomfort, you're holding it in, you're holding back that uncomfortable energy, and you're not letting it flow. And it's uncomfortable because you're not letting it flow. If it's stuck inside, it's going to fester. And that's what's going to cause these masks, these beliefs, these insecurities, these fears, these doubts. We have to let this energy flow. We have to let who we are naturally be without judgment. But we're not tuned that way. We're not programmed that way. We've been conditioned to worry about what other people think. We've been conditioned to not put our energy or our attention internally, but to put it externally, so that we want that car, so that we want to be like that person, so that we want that body. We have 5 senses. They're all focused externally to the outside world. But you have another one that you don't know about, which is your attention. You can place it on the outside world. You can also place it on your inner world. And your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So as you start to change your inner world and release things and clean that up, your external world is going to get cleaned up. Vice versa too. You can be in an environment that's loud and noisy, and your head is probably going to be loud and noisy. They can influence each other. So if you feel like you're noisy in your head, clean up your space. Clean up your room, tidy up your kitchen, whatever it may be. But you'll notice after a while, that mess is going to come back. The mess is going to come back because you're using all these things. You have so many things. With MindWorks, the point is to remove the things that we don't need. Remove the things that aren't serving us, and to have a minimalist mindset where the negativity has been stripped away. When we strip away the negativity, there's room for positivity or just neutrality. Neutrality is fine too. We just want to avoid the negativity because that's what's going to cause dis-ease. And we don't want to store that. Unfortunately, we store negative emotions. That's trauma. We don't store the positive emotions. It's just the way it is. It's the way animals work. It's our biology. Depending on your experiences in your life, you might have a lot of trauma stored in your body. I certainly have. And what is trauma? Trauma is, I like Dr. Gabor Mate's take on what trauma is. He says it's not what happens to us, it's what happens within us. I'm going to take that one step further. Trauma is simply trapped energy in the body, because that is what happens within us, like Dr. Gabor Mate says. What happens within us is we have all these stress chemicals during some event, and we store them, we absorb them, because we didn't use them to express. We didn't use them to run or to fight or to cry or to whatever it was, to express ourselves, to yell, to scream. We kept it in, and by keeping it in, our soft tissues absorbed it. That's trauma. It's trapped energy. Trapped energy that didn't get to be expressed, that didn't get to flow, that didn't get to move. And once it's stuck, and it can be stuck for a long time until you let it out, and that's when it can get clogged. Animals have a natural way of shaking out this energy. We can do it too. Thinking stops it. Literally being human, having this prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that has made us human, top of the food chain, that's what causes our trauma and what causes us to hold on to our trauma for decades. And that's what causes our minds and our bodies to grow disease over the course of our lives. So we have to start stripping away and releasing and peeling these layers of the trauma we have, of the trapped energy we have. And it doesn't have to be as uncomfortable as you think it is. It's not. We do this little by little, layer by layer. They're very thin layers. Sometimes, yes, there could be a bigger event, and that's okay. It's good. You want it to flow. But you can do this little by little, day by day, and it's just a little bit of discomfort. Not a lot, just a little bit. And it's going to change your life. As you start peeling away these layers, you're going to feel better. And you will feel some physical changes in your body. When I started this, my skin felt softer. I could feel it. When I would touch my hands together, I was like, this feels different. It feels like I just got out of a nourishing, moisturizing spa or something like that, you know? It really was very, very noticeable. My skin felt softer. My face was cleaner as far as the skin on my face. I had people tell me multiple times, Andre, your skin looks cleaner. Andre, you look different. What'd you do? I would even look in the mirror and be like, wow, I look different than I did yesterday. Everything is just tighter, kind of younger. It's really interesting. Maybe you grind your teeth at night. Maybe you have a lot of energy and tension stuck in your jaw, which is causing that grinding at night. Guess what that grinding is? It's trying to release and use the energy that's there, because there's so much. You can do mind works to this area of your face, to your jaw, and start releasing the trapped energy and trapped tension there. All of this is pent up trauma. All of this is energy that is stored in the body. All of this is things we can release. We can let it go. We can let it go physically. We can let it go mentally through the MindWorks process. It's quite amazing the power you have over your body once you start building that mind-body connection. But you have to take that first step. You have to start building the mind-body connection and getting back in tune with your human self. Don't just be a prefrontal cortex thinking and thinking and thinking, staying in your head all the time. You want to be a full-bodied human, and that's how you become a top human, as you optimize your body and your mind and your spirit. We can only do that once we've really started to do the work and once we accept that we have to do the work. Thanks for tuning into this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was eye-opening for you. I hope you start doing the work. Feel free to drop a comment, ask any questions. I'm here to help you and guide you on your journey, because I wish I had someone to guide me on mine. I didn't. I had to figure out a lot of this on my own, and it would have saved me years had I had someone to really walk me through this process and show me. So I'm creating a process that I wish I had when I started 7 years ago, with a noisy mind and an ex I couldn't get over and pain in my body and crippling insecurity. I don't want anyone else to suffer through that the way I did. So I hope this resonates. If it does, drop me a comment, shoot me a message. Let's get connected, stay in touch, and let's see what MindWorks can do for you. All right, guys, take care.